Good morning, parents and students. My name is Environ So'o, and I'm proud to be one of your MCs for today, for graduation. Could you please switch off all your cell phones if you haven't already? Please stand for the official party and remain standing after the karakia.
If we could please bow our heads. Kia ino I tātou, kia pai ki te ngā kau, ko te mahiki, ko te whakaiti, ko te umare, kia whakamiharo kātu ki ngā hoa maho rangi matua, kia whakamiharo kātu ki ngā hoa maho papu I tahuri. Kia tahuri ngā whakaare o te hunga pukonoa, kia tahuri ngā whakaare o te iwi whakahawe. Hei kaupare noa, kei tahuri kaukoahau, e hara, e taku saina, e taku soakana, e aru karapote ngā whakahuritanga, ka tū hei ārai, ka tū hei tauira whakakitenga mōku, ka tū, ka tau, ka ho. Ho atu ko te tauai whakamau anga rongo kia teina, teina, whakahuia kia tau, kia tau.
You may all be seated. I'd like to now welcome Mr. Scott to the stage for his opening address.
Thank you. So a warm welcome to all our parents, honoured guests, the members of the senior management team, a special guest appearance by Mr. Ritchie, the deans of our schools, the Year 13 form teachers, all teachers in the audience, and of course you, the graduating Year 13 students for 2013. Firstly, thank you to Simon Tongatula for the karakia, and to Kirsten and Sam for that rendition of Adele's Make You Feel My Love. You can see how talented Kirsten is. Graduation is one of my favourite ceremonies, one of the events as Year 13 level coordinator that defines the year. I'm sure you've all been counting down the days to this event, your final hurrah at school. You know, we have all been too. Friday was a special day and marked a change in our traditional ending for Year 13. It was a memorable day for many of us, and I just want to thank those of you who made such an exceptional effort to provide morning tea for the school staff. We really appreciated it. I also want to thank Mr. Jones for the initial concept of the Year 13 lunch, and for all of the helpers who peeled the potatoes and cooked all the food and cleared up all the mess. Our thanks to Mr. Jones and his team. I've had an interesting year for myself personally. On a couple of occasions I went with some of the Year 13 prefects to some leadership seminars aimed at leading and raising leadership awareness in students. I think that these events have led to self-reflection and an improvement in personal leadership goals for the team. And it was great to see Kirsten take Billy Graham's words of wisdom on board. His presentation was full of references. If you don't ask, you don't get. So well done to her to go straight up to him after his presentation and ask him to come and present at Massey, which, as we all know, he did. The presentations also hit a note for me. There was a guy from Air New Zealand, a pilot called Mike Alsop, who had recently climbed Mount Everest. And he almost died on Mount Everest and decided with 3 young children he wouldn't do it again. So he decided he was going to run 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 different continents. So this really struck home for me, and I thought, being a wee bit competitive at times, if he can run 7, then surely I can run 1. Well, the reason that I'm limping and struggling today is that for the first time ever, since high school, I ran and finished the Auckland Marathon yesterday. Tony Robbins, if you don't know him, you need to get to know him. He tells us that the way you communicate with yourself is the most important communication that you will ever make. And that little voice in my head has told me for 30 years that I'm not a runner. I just cannot run. And I wanted to tell you this for 2 reasons. Firstly, I want you to make commitments to yourselves to speak positively about yourself in your head. Do we all know that little voice? It speaks to you, tells you things. Well, it's actually you. It's not someone else. Okay? So get that little voice to talk yourself up, not down. And secondly, don't tell yourself you cannot do something. Tell yourself you can. If you want to make dramatic changes in your life, tell yourself not only that you can, but that you are going to. Nothing will stop you. If I can do something like run 42 kilometres at my age, then believe me, there is no limit to what you are able to do. I want to say a few thank yous now. Thanks to Gurno, the man with the BBC voice and the unpronounceable name. You were Mr. Reliable, a true friend. Thank you for relieving those occasional statistics classes and always helping me out at short notice. And also thanks to your partner Laura for the amazing job you have done this year. I simply think that you are Wonder Woman. You sing, you speak, you're in the choir, you're in the show, you study and maintain your grades, you're always helpful, and never once have you snapped or complained. To Eb and Jason, my passionate rugby players, with a happy face and always time to say hello, I enjoyed getting to know you and your competitive sides on the rugby field, and I wish you both every success in your careers. Let's all thank Morgan and Michael for their efforts this year in working hard for the school community and designing and organising the leavers jackets and hoodies, which look great. There are so many of you that deserve individual thanks, but it might take longer than my run yesterday. So thanks to all the gold and silver badge prefects for their contributions and their hard work. They are often the first faces parents and visitors to the school will see, and they have done such a great job this year in representing the student face of Massey High School. So here we are today, celebrating the successful conclusion of the year with you, the graduating students. It is a sad day for many of us. We have mixed emotions. We are sad to see you go, but also happy to have completed our job in preparing you to leave. However, a small word of caution. It seems like the end of the year, but you are not quite finished. There is the small matter of externals, your one last big push ahead of you, and you cannot relax just yet. We wish you all the best for your future endeavours. We hope you find your dream job, a vocation that you love, and you earn extremely high salaries so that you can finance us, the grey-haired teachers, in our retirement. Think of us often, and if you should look back at Massey High School as a defining moment in your lives, then we will all have been delighted to have helped. My final thanks for the year go to you, the students. You have spent 5 years here growing from children to adults, and now you leave us. We are all better people for the experience we gained in helping you and watching you grow. Good luck in your exams, best wishes for the future, and rest assured you are always welcome here, and please keep in touch.
Good morning, parents and students. My name is Kirsten Eskelson, and I'm pleased to be one of your MCs at the graduation today. Thank you, Mr. Scott, for your speech. And now I would like to invite our acting principal, Mr. Jones, to speak to you.
The Year 13 students of 2013 have always been special. After all, your year and the calendar year align. This cohort, you, are the highest achieving group to pass through Massey High School. Staff comments made on your entry in 2009, your Year 9, related to a significant change. They are different, maybe a generation change. The high level of maturity shown, especially in Year 13, has been most noticeable. Finally, the positive energy you have brought to the school has been felt school-wide. We have to congratulate you all on the farewell day on Friday, the respect shown to you, to your teachers, the dignity with which you conducted yourself at lunchtime, and the adulthood shown throughout this term has been most impressive. Now is the time for the school to acknowledge that you have reached the heights, valued citizenship, are fully engaged, but now ready to embrace that exciting world beyond the school gates. No doubt, these are emotional times, and you farewell your form teachers, deans and level coordinators whom you have formed strong bonds with over 5 years. Be assured it is not the end, for the school follows your progress with great interest and pride. The challenge in front of you is to keep us informed. We will be willing, applauding audience, for we share in your successes, small and large. Congratulations on your graduation. And as the Americans would say, we have loved you all.
Thank you, Mr. Jones, for your words. We will now begin the presentation of the certificates. Students, when your form class is called, please all move over to the side of the auditorium and line up in alphabetical order. You will be called up in groups of up to 8 students, and we will applaud each group together. After we've presented certificates to the first 3 schools, we will have an address from Sam Williams from the class of 2009 before we complete the presentation of certificates. Now I would like to ask Mr. Scott to the podium, the Deans of Anafoda School, Mr. Jones and Mr. Ritchie to present the certificates.
I didn't get much time to sit down, did I? Is Miss Allen here? We will start with the class of 13AAE. Nairi Graham, Tarina Kay, Tiana King, and Simone Tongatula. Mr. Chong and 13ACH. If the rest of the row could move along as well, please. Travis Atomalefo. Bernadette Holler. Katrina McAllister. Nessa Simi. Sione Sesofo. Candy Titi. Bella Semenoff. Just wait, your thing's coming back round. And Sophie Louise White. Mr. Dainty and 13ADA, please. Christina Borobon. Luke Kovic, John Crone, Estella Gilchrist, Jason Henton. Shazleen Hussain. James Josias. Curtis Joyce. Amish Ray Lutui. Trish Priester-Profner. Adley Sellier. Daljit Singh. And Jeremy Zane. Mr. Francis in 13 AFR. This is quite a big group. Stephanie Abernethy. Dylan Bradshaw. Rhiannon Carmody. Natasha Cathcart. Nicholas Charles. Holland Coutonch. Georgie Dobrev. Ayla Dobson-Morse. Liam Geddy. Hayley George. And Ruby Green. Brittany Hobbis. Paul Hong. Ella Hooper. Zhao Chen Xiao. Hamish Ikahihifo. Grace Jenkins. Shannon Johnson. Rupa Kelly. Andrea Lee. Jaden Manahira. Ruby Mitchell Quinnell. Zoe Nicholson. Kevin Park. Rainey Patterson. She's smiling because I got that right. Suhail Sahib. Kingsley Sol. Keisha September. Samantha Williams. And Alex Wong. Thank you to the Deans of Anna Potter. I would now like to call up the Kurri Deans to present their certificates. Looks like Mr. Jones needs a rest. Well, Miss Cranston, maybe you would like to shake the hands of Kurri. And 13KCK and Ms. Cork, please. Aline Joy Bueno. Kirsty Canada. Hannah Carson. Sanya Chand. Sukjun Chang. Sungwon Choi. Sam Colletnai. Pasova Fangatua. Jiun Kwon. Sarian Langloy. Claire Monteparto. Alex Mudalia. Louisa Polu. Jessica Robertson. Annalise Sketcher. Ryan Slack. Lewis Stevens. Siliala Talale Vavao. Chapman and Jadu for 13 KCP. Sipita Aho. Thomas Bryan. Jessica Bennett. Travis Cadman, Zarita Gulis, Ali Abadi, Jordan Ellery, Luana Kelly, Mohammed Tanzil Nazir, Kieran Phillips, Jane Ratanachai, and Courtney Scott. Thirteen KPC and Mrs. Price. Holly Afoa. Phoenix Arthur. Marcus Daniel. Fang Fang. Amelia Galbraith. Aisha Hancox. Selena Haynes. Ashley Hunter. Michaela Kelly. Jae-Suk Lee. Sahan Katie Lee. Emma Lettis. Carrie Lloyd. Sarah Matic. Janina Paia. Marquis Pauly. Kyle Povey. Ben Prosser. Holly Renton. Is it Holly's birthday? No, that's not it. Renati Ruzidanmu. Aaron Smith. Danny Steenhuisen. Russell Taylor. Ben Woods. Sit down, Mrs. Cranston. Mrs. Skelton, this time, please. And Mr. Riseborough, I'd like to shake the hands. Mrs. Skelton, okay. Mr. Riseborough doesn't want to. 13 NCY, this carrier is overseas. Abi Bajwa. Cameron Bakewell. Joshua Bamford. Georgia Brown. Angela Byrne. Georgia Cray. Tracy Lee Edwards. Jessica Fox. And Sakina Husseini. Michael Kennelly. Siali Makaya. Linda Manawatu. Anthony Nguyen. Kelly Park. Heathen Pulavaka. Ruben Rakina. Jinming Shi. Vanessa Talamahina. Warren Total. Michael Wilcox. And Alex Wright. 13 ODO and Mrs. Douglas, please. Fusi Aho. Sophie Burgess. Megan Carr. Isabella Katut. Jerome Parry. And Ben Williams. Mr. Davey and 13 MDV, please. Sarah Ascari. Tyler Booty. Taylor Chambers. Jessica Cook. Michaela Curtis. George Goshawk. Elise Mattison. Judah Morala Leova'a. Liam Payne. Caitlin Purchase. Michaela Sherwin, Ashley Squire, Jessie White, Jessie Wooten, and 4 Laura Dean's Go, Tamisa Kratamane from 13 MDO. Didn't see you sitting back there. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Scott and the Deans. It is my pleasure now to introduce our guest speaker, Sam Williams, who was our head boy prefect in 2009 when we were in Year 9. Whilst at school, Sam was very sporty. He was involved in a number of sports teams, including soccer, tennis, table tennis, badminton, and basketball. He was very involved in the Massey Premier debating team for 3 years, and he keenly remembers being the head boy in PE school when they won the House Cup for the first time. He was only 16 years of age when he was appointed the position of head boy, and in his final year, he was awarded the Alumni Scholarship for Auckland University, which he has used to study politics and law for 3 years at the University of Auckland with an A- average. In the last year, Sam has joined the workforce as a full-time advertising executive, working for Parkside Media Limited, a company that produces 4 different New Zealand magazines each month. It is a pleasure to welcome Sam back to Massey High School, and I invite him now to address you.
Thank you for that. Oh. Well, it's a pleasure to be back. I've got to say, in the last half an hour, my whole nostalgia has just overloaded me. So I have written a speech, but whether I'll stick to it or not, can't promise you too much. One of the funny things about leaving high school, I think, is when you get to where I've been, where it's 5 years now since I last left this place, I start to appreciate some of the things that you don't notice while you're here. And for me, one of the things that really stood out is Mr. Davey here right now? I saw you outside. Mr. Davey. So Mr. Davey was my economics teacher back in year 13, so my final year where you guys are. And I was fortunate as a year 13. I knew where I wanted to go. I knew what I wanted to be. It was always going to be public speaking and a political role. But Mr. Davey showed me this one video during one economics class about the effect that the World Bank had on the banana industry for Jamaica. Now that changed my whole perspective. It opened me up big time. I didn't realize it then, but it actually had a major impact on the future studies that I did, and indeed the way that I looked at the world. So I never fully acknowledged you for that previously, Mr. Davey, but that was one of the most important parts of my high school education. So I thank you for that. And seeing how you guys have greeted your teachers, you've obviously developed the same relationships that we have, those really strong bonds. Savor those, because it is hard to find those bonds later on in life. And you develop some of the best ones here with your teachers. there's just a little something that I thought I'd get out of the way to start with. Now, a few people have asked me sort of where I've gone, what I've done, and I feel I should give you guys a bit of an answer as to where I am today. I did do 3 years of law and politics at the University of Auckland. Now, it's a 5-year degree. I've done 3 years of it, and the reasoning why is because in the end of last year, my mum actually had a minor heart attack, and what this meant was if any more stress was put on her lines, aka if she continues to work, it could be the end of it. So all of a sudden, life kind of just took the feet out from under me, and I was found in a place where I had to start working. So I did start working, and fortunately enough, I found a job which I absolutely love, which is to do with the media, and I think that education is very important, but then actually working as well teaches you almost as much as the things that you learn as you study. So that's why I've taken a leave of absence from university. I'm working full-time and supporting my family, and I'm loving it. It really is fantastic. Now, I'm sort of here to give you a little bit of insight into what you can expect over the next few years. My speech is a little bit doomy gloomy, but hopefully you'll see that there is the nicer side to it as well, and I'm sure your head boy will inspire you with your words of what to expect. Now, can I just get by a show of hands, how many of you are considering going to university or are planning to go to university? Yep, so that's a pretty fair percentage there. So let me tell you about university. Let me tell you what you can expect. You've probably heard this concept that university is hard. I'm sure your teachers have done this one line which they did to me, which is you can't rely on your raw talent anymore. If you guys have heard that one, you actually need to put in the effort. Well, I wish I could tell you it was any different, but that's exactly how it is. And the best way for me to describe to you what uni's going to be like is probably through a metaphor. So thanks to Mr. Goddard, which I saw was tucked away somewhere at the back there, I have a great love for Star Wars, and I'm going to use it as a Star Wars analogy. So you imagine you're going to a university and you're there to learn about Star Wars. Well, the teacher is going to come out to you and say, well, let me tell you, now Luke Skywalker was one of the most important Jedi of his time, and I tell you, he led the Rebel Alliance and they fought many stormtroopers. What? What's a stormtrooper? What's a Jedi? Who's Luke? But that's the way it is. Things are going to come at you at 50 miles per hour, and so the teachers are going to throw this information at you. Well, how am I supposed to know if he was a good Jedi? I mean, what is a Jedi? So they'll give you readings. They'll say, hey, no worries, here's a book. Make sure you read chapter 1. That'll help clear up the misunderstandings. So you go, okay, no worries. You get to chapter 1, it's 20 pages. Oh, okay, 20 pages. I guess that's not too much. You know, I read Harry Potter in one night. No worries, I can do this. Okay, let's see, what do we got here? Luke Skywalker was a great Jedi. What? What's a Jedi? You haven't told me what's going on. So I know it's a bit of an interesting lesson to learn, but that is what university is like. It's going to come through, it's going to fly, and it's going to be up to you, yourself, to go beyond and learn what is a Jedi? What is a stormtrooper? Who are the rebels? Because they'll teach it to you, but they're going to teach it fast. So there's a little bit of a heads up for you, and it's really all it requires is effort, hard work, put it in and you'll get the results. Now, you're not just dealing with uni. You guys are adults now, you're dealing with life, and uni is just a small battle in the war that is life. It's true, and it's probably a funny analogy, but I'll give you a little bit of reality. Like I said, it's a bit bloody doomy and gloomy, this speech, but 4 of my friends dropped out of uni due to drugs. 2 of my friends fell pregnant in their 2nd and 3rd year. 1 of my friends became addicted to gambling, and probably countless scores of my friends failed some of their first year papers due to a pretty impressive partying and boozing. So it is there, it is hard, and just learning is a small part of what you're going to face. The social pressures are there, your friends are there, it's a lot harder, but at the same time you're all adults now. And I'm not here to scare you, by the way. I mean, the teachers haven't hired me to try and get you to study harder for your externals or anything like that. I'm just giving you a little bit of the reality that I faced and what you guys might have to look at and what to expect. And the lesson that I learned is the hardest and the fastest is that your actions now have consequences. In the past, you do something wrong, maybe it's a detention. In the past, And for the future, if you do something wrong or you make a decision, you will have the consequences to live with. So you need to think a little bit more about the actions that you take and what the best thing is to do for yourself. And your responsibilities now is not just for yourself, but it's actually for those around you. It's your job now to look out for your friends. Make sure they're on the same track as you. If you're doing well, that's great. How's your friend doing? How's your friend's friend doing? If you can help, it's now your responsibility to do that. Now, I can't tell you what will happen, but I can tell you that life is going to come at you from all kinds of directions. I knew that where I was going, I had a great goal and a great dream, and then all of a sudden, life came and hit me from the right, which wasn't very nice. But at the same time, it shows you something. It shows life can come from over there, it can come from over there, but in the end, it's still going to come right here. So the best thing that you can do is make yourself a rock. If you make yourself adaptable and strong, life can throw whatever problem it likes at you, and it won't bother you. It'll bounce off. You'll be on to the next project. So that's just a little something. That's my advice to you. Looking forward to the next few years. You're going to have a great time. The independence is amazing. You know, the responsibility is all there, but you are going to have the time of your life. You're going to make friends that will be with you for the rest of your life, including those that you have now. It is an exciting time. Do look forward to it. The last thing that I would say is to all the sporty people in the crowd, like it was my bio said, I was very sporty in high school. And I had the silly idea that once I get to uni or once I get into the workforce or apprenticeshipping, that I wouldn't have time for sports. And so I dropped it off. I focused on my studies. And it was the wrong thing to do. You need that break. You need that little bit of sanity to come back into your life. You need that relaxation. And more than anything, it'll keep you healthy. I know the teachers have probably noticed I'm not quite the slender man that I was, but no worries there. For those of you Year 9s may not have remembered me, this is how I always was. But keep up your sports. Keep up the activities that you love. For me now, every Friday for the last 3 years, I've caught up with my friends and we play pool until the early hours of the morning. And that's what keeps me sane. So thank you for listening to me. Hopefully I've been of some help, and good luck with the next few years.
Thank you, Sam, for your inspirational speech. We appreciate the time you have given us today, and we wish you the best for your future as a high-flying executive. We will now continue with the presentation of the certificates. I would like to ask the PHAR Deans to assist.
Sorry, we had a late change and the musical item is not on, so we are into the PHAR Deans. We would like to shake hands from the senior management team, Dr. Smith and Mr. Riseborough. Come on, Mr. Riseborough. Mr. Riseborough, come on. No. Stand up, Mr. Riseborough, please. 13 PFV. Ms. Fiver, unfortunately, is overseas. Silly Cho. Dorta Sinza. Tomo Kim. Gabrielle Packy. Leela Pizzi. Kevin Seo. Conrad Stewart. and Michaela Willoughby. Mrs. Knox and 13 PKX, please. Mason Abbas. Sadeh Atai. Nicole Bell. Tyler Castle. Carol Chand. Taylor Hitaka Hiwai. Jacob Houghton. Brooke Hunter. Shamira Kennedy. Hayley Costa Smith. Pranil Sunil Kumar. Jeremy Lodder. Leora Masters. Candice Miller. Kartik Pilani. Sean Perry. Melama Peteru Sipu. Sam Scott, and Shirin Zakiri. Ramsey and 14 PRY. Sam Bennett. Jess Brown. Kate Carson. David Choi. Matthew Hamilton Moody. Ashley Hampson Wadsworth. Lainey Howarth. Sulby Lee. And Natasha Legg-Murray. Helena Ogden. Jerry Phillips. Jess Powley Doreen. Billy Russell. Steph Slattery. Giriraj Tankengo. Jason Worthington. And Nicole Wright. Our deans, we have the Tehima deans now, please. Mr. Wiseman and Dr. Smith can stay standing. Start with 13 TAS and Mr. Warrener. Summer Bassett. Khalid El-Khor. Shani Gordon. Megan Harris. Anton Harrison. Savannah Martin. William Seo. Jessica Stowers. And Faustina Tuala. Mr. Brook and 13 TBK, please. Eilish Kent. Lily Carter. Jerry Choi. Simon Connolly. Chantel Cullen, Laura Draper, Kirsten Eskildsen, Ryan Heath, Abigail Hilario, Mark Huang, Josh Kim, Ian Kwan, Sarah Langworthy, Michael Lee, Michaela Limyap, Phoebe McClure, Morgan McFadgen, Amy McKenzie, Elliot Martin, Eli Minhorst, Ashley Oswin. Maria Petrov. Carolyn Riddell. And Connor Sills Younger. Nathan Stennebergs. Genu van Niekerk. Selina van Voet. Levi Wenslick. Ryan West. Renee Wooten. Sanzi. And Stephanie's wearing Mr. Tara and 13 TTA, please. Yoshino Fu. Christopher Fox. Troy O'Carroll. Quan Wu Park. John Henry Patterson. Victor Talava.
Thank you to Mr. Scott and the Deans. I would now like to call on Lily Russell, who will perform My Friends by Laura Martin.
He was so smiling. He was so smiling in your jacket and coat. My softest red scarf was warming your throat. Winter was all nice at the end of my nose, and I've never loved England more than when covered in snow. But a friend of mine says it's good to hear that you believe in love, even if set in fear. And I'll hold you there, brother, and set you straight. I only believe true love is frail and willing to break. I will come back here, lead me back when I'm old. I want to lay here forever in the cold. leave us near the end of my notes. So goodbye, old England, until next year's snow.
Thank you, Lily, for that wonderful piece. I would now like to ask our head boy for 2013, René van die Kerk, and our head girl for 2013, Laura Draper, to address you.
Good morning, everybody. There we go. Mr. Jones, teachers, Mr. Ritchie, parents, and of course my peers. It is an honor to address you all on this very significant day, and I thank you for the opportunity. Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "We are our choices." I had a choice 5 years ago, and I made the decision to come to Massey High School. This was a choice that would have a tremendous impact on my life. A choice that would not only influence the present, but the future. A choice that would not only equip me with knowledge, but with wisdom. A choice that would give me the best friends one could ever ask for. And a choice that would bring the most special and amazing people across my path. People that would enrich my life more than I could ever imagine. Now, this year started with great excitement. I personally started with a trip to Europe, shortly followed by Year 13 camp. Now, speaking of choices, we didn't have much choice in Year 13 camp, although we had one choice that we all had to make. Were we going to complain, or were we going to have fun? We chose the latter. We decided to make this camp the best camp ever. Each day was packed with activities and lots of laughter. And of course, well, more laughter. We would lie in our little tents at night and laugh our heads off at Jeremy Lauder talking back to the teachers. Cucumbers, Dirty Rob. And we would have the most serious discussions. And I would lie there and think, this is life. How could life get any better than this? And it set the tone for the rest of the year. We were buddies looking out for each other. I imagine that one day I will tell my grandchildren stories about the great experiences we had together and of the great friendships we have had. And therefore I want to say to all my brothers or bradas in Year 13, thank you. Those include females, by the way. Thank you. You made me realize what is really important in life. And I've learned a secret of success. The secret of a group of people coming together, staying together, working together, but most importantly, playing together and laughing together. I've learned the significance of people, of friends, and of friendships. We have worked extremely hard this year, but we never forgot to have some fun along the way. I'm sure you all agree. I've come to realize that everything we enjoyed and accomplished could be traced down to teachers and to each other, the people that helped us make decisions constantly throughout the year. Edwin Markham said, "There is a destiny that makes us brothers. No one goes his way alone. All that we send into the lives of others comes back into our own." It was a privilege and an honor to be your head boy this year. Laura, you are beyond amazing. And what a privilege it was to work with such a formidable team of prefects. Thank you for your help and your support. To Mr. Ritchie, Mr. Jones, the teachers and the peers that walked beside me, thank you. To the staff of Massey High School that have been great role models to us, demonstrating the value of making the right choices. I salute you as you have been an inspiration to me and to all those around you. Yes, I'm very glad I made that decision 5 years ago to come to Massey High School. It was the best choice I ever made in my life. Thank you, Massey High School, for making me what I am today. We are our choices indeed. God bless you all. Thank you.
teachers, senior management, deans, and most importantly, fellow students. When writing this speech, I tried again and again to get it right, to make it perfect. The most perfect graduation speech there ever was, to end our time here at Massey with the right words, the right imagery, the right anecdotes, the right metaphors. But how? How, with just a few minutes at this podium, how could I capture the past 5 years of life and make it simply perfect? But here we are at the end of a huge and phenomenal chapter of our life, which has been so much more interesting than plainly perfect. Because with every shining success comes 100 failures. And the fact that we're sitting here today, graduating from high school, implies that we have indeed been successful. We've made it. We survived being awkward little year 9s in our pack and save PJs. We survived year 10 and were rewarded with Wider Living Week. We survived year 11, where we first tackled our NCEA exams. We survived year 12, finally making it into the senior year and attending the beautiful Pandora Nights ball. And now we have survived year 13. Camp, NCEA level 3, the old Hollywood ball, uni applications, scholarship applications, career decisions, and finally, our bittersweet goodbyes to the friends who have been our family through it all. Which brings me to thank yous. There are so many people I need to thank for getting us where we are today, but just to mention a few. Thank you firstly to the ever-diligent senior management for all your hard work and brilliant leadership. To the deans, particularly Mrs. Mackenzie and Mr. Van Niekerk. You've been such wonderful support to all our students. Thank you for your endless time and patience. To form teachers, thank you for being our surrogate parents. I'll miss you, Mr. Brooke. To subject teachers, thank you for all the extra hours you put in every weekend for our benefit. Thank you to my wonderful prefect team, especially my Goldies. Your endless work behind scenes has made you invaluable. A particular thanks to you, Gurno, and to our dep heads, Kirsten and Ev. You're such beautiful and amazing people. I've been so privileged to work with you over this year. Thank you to the families for your fantastic support over this stressful year. And finally, a huge thank you to you, all my friends and fellow students. You're the ones who have coloured all 960 school days of my high school career. Friends are the best teachers of all, giving lessons that cannot be put into a marking schedule, but are more important than any NCEA topic. These are the lessons we will hold closest and more dearly than any other. Lessons, otherwise known as memories. Memories of both good and bad. Friends have seen the best and worst of us all. Personal worst school memory is surely doing the Charleston in front of you all in a Year 9 assembly to a rendition of I've Got Rhythm. Surely the most embarrassing thing I've ever done. But memories of teaching English to Cambodian orphans, and of singing our way around Europe, and of climbing the Southern Alps for Wider Living Week, and of wearing half a dead peacock to the ball. These memories make up for the bad, ugly, and embarrassing ones. So thank you, Massey High, for giving us these opportunities. And thank you to my fellow students for making it so much more than plainly perfect. So congratulations again, Year 13, on the success of making it here today, and for overcoming the inevitable failures. J.K. Rowling says, "It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default." So I say goodbye, and I wish you an imperfect life, seasoned with failure and hardships, because only then will you succeed with flying colours. past the plainly perfect, and into a life really worth living. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. That was beautiful. First of all, I'd like to thank the Lord above for this blessed day and wonderful ceremony that we're doing now. As we embark on our final steps to the end of our high school journey, I cannot help but reminisce about all the accomplishments, challenges, and memories that we went through. We have spent roughly 200 weeks, 1,400 days in school, or 8,400 hours learning. Might not seem as much, but that's the amount of time we've put in to better ourselves. For that, I'd like to acknowledge you. To everyone here, I would like to congratulate you for graduating. You've made it past a challenge. You've made it past a chapter of your life, and now it's time to embark on a new chapter, whether it be embarking upon new things, for example, going to university, or to further your education, or beginning a full-time job, and maybe starting a family. But either option, I wish you the very best. The next thing that I'd like to say is that as your deputy head boy for 2013, I've gotten to know a lot of you better, and I really appreciate everyone who has spent their time getting to know me better. It's been a crazy but enjoyable ride, but meeting everyone and bonding with you all, forming friendships, relationships, and lifetime bonds is something I'll forever cherish in my heart, and I will never forget. Over the years, you all have really helped me out from a point of just knowing my name, made me feel special, so thank you. To my form class, MCY, there's no other form class that could have made my Massey High experience more enjoyable. I'd like to thank everyone for just being good people and simply being one big family. I wish you well with whatever journey you take next year, and all the best. To Laura and Gerda, the honour has been all mine to have worked with such a talented duo of masterminds. Working under a gentleman such as Gerda, you earn a type of respect to people you usually wouldn't see unless you got to know someone. A quote that reminds me of Gerda is, "To be kind to one another is to be treated kindly in return." I'd just like to thank you, Gerda, for being a great guy and an excellent head boy. Laura Draper, what can I say? Your personality is enough. Your personality is so bright that it can shine in a dark room. You've been a great friend and an important person in my upbringing, and I know you'll be amazing with whatever you set your mind to achieve. To my partner in crime, Kirsten S. Wilson, you have been my rock and buddy, the ups to my downs, the rights to my wrongs, the bob to my build-ups. I'd just like to say thank you for putting up with me this year. I couldn't have done my role without your support. To the prefect team, I'd like to thank you all for being such an organised group, and big thank you to Holia for always doing my duty when I wasn't there. Special thanks to the teachers who have spent hours of their own time preparing us to become the young, fine adults we are today. And lastly, I'd like to say a big thank you to Lord Scott. Sir, it has been an honour to have been mentored by someone so genuine and charismatic as you. Words cannot explain the memories we share, except don't be afraid to go in the water at your 13 camp. Thank you for your time. We can finally say we made it through high school. Class of 2013, God bless.
Don't worry guys, this is the last speech. I can still remember my very first day at school with absolute clarity. The nerves and the anticipation. Now here we are 5 years later as our last day as high schoolers, and I find myself with the exact same feelings. We've come full circle. Looking back over the past 5 years, it's amazing to see how far we've come. Personally, I feel that I've really rolled through this year. First on roller skates for the school show, then in my wheelchair for my injured knee, and most recently rolling on the floor crying at the thought of exams. The trouble is, you think you have time. In year 9 it seems like school goes on forever, but as we now know, that's not the case. Being deputy head girl has given me great responsibility and leadership opportunities, and I'm very thankful to Massey for that. During my time here, I've been able to travel to New Caledonia, around the country sailing on the Spirit, playing soccer and surfing, get crazy at the Kaiwi Lakes for Year 13 camp, and best of all, travel to Europe as part of the music tour. All of these experiences and achievements are because of Massey. We can all agree that one of the best aspects of Massey is the range of amazing opportunities available. In the end, though, it's the people I'm going to miss. Massey is very special to me because we are always made to feel valuable and that your goals are possible. There are many people who have supported me, believed in me, and never let me give up. Every teacher I've had at Massey has inspired me and helped me realise my potential. Thank you very much to you all. Mr. Garalja said something that made a big impression on me last year. He said, "Don't let high school be your peak." I often hear people talking about how high school was their glory days. Massey shouldn't be the best 5 years of our lives. There is so much more that we still have to do, that we haven't seen yet, that we haven't done. Our glory days are yet to come. Go on to do bigger and better things. Because if you can get through high school, you can get through anything. I've loved getting to know many of you as my friends, hanging out in class or on camp. Senior years are the best. Grades slowly slipping, endless parties, the time where we can be where we want us to be. Wearing our leavers jackets with the flying shrimps on the back with pride. Our lives are going to be very different next year, but that's not a bad thing. You grow up so fast in high school. It's not something you wait for, it just kind of happens. One day you'll look back and be proud of who you've become, while at the same time miss who you are now. But oh, the places you'll go. You'll be on your way up. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who seek the heights. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you'll fly, you'll be the best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. Congratulations, Massey High School, class of 2013.
Thank you to the head prefects and Year 13 students for a wonderful year. We are about to conclude the ceremony. Holly Afoa will perform Don't You Worry Child as we leave. After the official party leaves, you are all welcome and invited to join us for a morning tea over in the hall. Just wait for Holly to give me the thumbs up.
There was a time when I looked into my Father's eyes in a happy home. I was a queen, I had a golden throne. from the places where I was born. Upon a hill across the blue lake, that's where I had my first heartbreak. Still remember how it all changed. And my father said, don't you worry, child. Heaven's got a plan for you. Don't you worry now. Oh, don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a plan for you. Oh, don't you worry now. Oh, there was a time I met a boy of a different kind. We ruled the world. I never thought I'd leave him out of sight. We were so young. Hear the songs reminding me of a friend. Yeah. Upon the hill across the blue lake, that's where I had my first heartbreak. I still remember how it all changed. And my father said, oh, don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a plan for you. Oh, don't you worry